August 1st is coming up and it's Albariño Day, and Albariños make some of the most refreshing, exciting wines in the world, and they come from the greenest part of Spain, the northwest.
I can't wait. So Oz, let's talk Albariño.
It's a fantastic grape. Every generation, a grape just seems to catch the public imagination. A couple of generations ago, it was Chardonnay. Nobody knew what Chardonnay was. Suddenly, everybody knew what Chardonnay was. Everyone wanted it. A generation ago...
New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc.
New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. Suddenly, everybody wanted Sauvignon Blanc. Everybody knew what it was. And this one, nowadays...
It's Albariño.
Albariño.
All the kids are drinking it. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Everyone who
You
makes
will be
Albariño,
drinking it.
Everyone who makes Albariño sells out. And you just think, Albariño, but I'd never heard of that. Well, they'd never heard of Sauvignon Blanc. They'd never heard of Chardonnay. Albariño, I've seen Albariño planted in New Zealand, in Australia, in California, all over Europe.
Yeah, in England.
Everybody who makes it says they sell out. It's such an adaptable grape. It never loses its crunching, juicy, bright, perfumed, lemony flavour.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think it is an approachable. It's got a lot of the sort of vibrancy of Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
It's got this amazing sort of come to me, welcome sort of drink, but it's also got this absolute clarity. It's less perfumed and expressive than Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
It's got this amazing fresh acidity, a little bit like, licking your finger and sticking it in a plug socket. It's sort of just this absolute like zing, but it's got this lovely, gently stone fruity, orchardy, sort of just mid-palate fruit that I think it goes with everything.
I think that stone fruit thing is important. By stone fruit, we mean things like peaches and apricots, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Albariño is it's got rather a thick skin, and of course it needs it.
Yeah.
We'll tell you about where it comes from in a second. It needs a thick skin.
Come on, pour me a glass of wine.
Just let me say that the Albariño thing, the texture is actually quite full in the mouth.
Yes.
And yet it's tremendously fresh. And
I think that's the thing.
Sauvignon can be quite thin sometimes, not Albariño.
No.
Should we start with this?
Come on, get me into it. I'm excited.
Look at that. This is a thing called Paco and Lola. It comes from the biggest cooperative in the northwest of Spain. Tom and I are going to tell you about the northwest of Spain in just a minute. Everything in this winery is polka dot like this.
Honestly, you're teasing me here. You're teasing me.
You hear that click, by the way?
It's a very cool thing.
Screw cap. You want to keep your wines nice and fresh? Screw cap's the way to do it.
Honestly.
Now,
Tantric wine service.
I can see already that's got a lovely green colour. Oh, Tom,
I'm in.
Look at the green colour.
Isn't it lovely? So you have got this lovely kind of pale green strawberry colour, and it's bright in the glass. This, for me, the Paco and Lola, it's great benchmark, everyday drinking style of Albariño. It's got this amazing freshness, a little bit of salinity, nice kind of lemon apricot kind of zing, but it's not so deeply complex that you have to sit there forever and think about it. It's just properly good, easy drinking, nice stuff. It's good.
I realise we haven't got a spittoon.
No.
So I have to
We started in no spittoon.
I think that's the time. The time. Sorry, I'm going to be spitting in the time box.
Do you know what this has got? This has got a tiny little prickle of just almost carbonation. It's not carbonation, but it's got this lovely, lively, just spritz to it that arrives on the palate and refreshes instantly. It's such
Do you find a little bit of saltiness in it as well?
Of course, absolutely.
Because
yeah.
Let's talk about Northwest Spain. I know you know it quite well and love it.
Wow.
It's called the Green Spain, and nearly all of Spain is just about the driest country in Europe, and it's the one which half the time you think I could be in the Badlands or the Wild West. It's so dry.
100%.
Right at the top northwest corner, just a tiny thin sliver of land in an area called Galicia, which is the province there, and they call it the Green Spain.
It has a climate, a little bit, it's wetter than Manchester, isn't it? Statistically wetter than Manchester.
Than Manchester.
It is a constantly raining, very verdant, lush, green, rolling hillsides to the landscape. And importantly, it's just north of Portugal. This is the bit of Spain that is just above Portugal, separated from the Vinho Verde and all that stuff in lovely northern Portugal by the Minho River. And the Minho, it's one of the most sort of expressive, great rivers in the wine world. but it's tiny. When you stand on the banks of the Minho here, looking down towards Portugal, you know, you can throw a stone over it.
Could.
There's parts of it that you can sort of tiptoe and wade over, you know?
Yeah.
It's a really, really lovely part of the world. Now, the name Rías Baixas is the Rías in that are these tiny little rivers. They're these little inlets that snake their way from the Atlantic coast a really long way inland, and there's forever, you know, lots of little bridges that you cross over. And these Rías are quite interesting because they have fresh water coming from one direction, meeting the salt water from the sea, and they connect. And right at the point where that salt water and fresh water mixes, octopus, love it. And this is Europe's arguably greatest seafood area. All the best seafood in Spain comes from here. And the octopus here, they're on the menu for everything. When you go to any winery there, what they do is, you know, you'll turn up, they'll pour you a glass of wine, they'll do it quicker than Oz did as well. And then what they do is they bring you some grilled octopus with a bit of paprika, a bit of lemon, a bit of olive oil, a bit of salt, and it is sensational. So we've replicated that. We've got a bit of this going on here at the Pig.
Should we try
near
it?
Bath. I think we should try it, Oz. I think you absolutely should.
Try it.
Come on.
Octopus, by the way, in England, we're undergoing an octopus bloom at the moment. Every generation or so, suddenly the octopus all turn up here. They get into all the lobster pots and into the crabs. They eat the crabs, they eat the lobster pots. So all the fishermen are saying, hey, they've eaten all our crabs and lobsters, but actually they're making more money out of octopus than they were out of lobsters and crabs. So for a year or so, we've got fantastic lobsters around the English shores as well.
And we must enjoy it with our Albariño. They're the perfect pairing. Now, it's very, very good. I'm tempted to throw to Oz now to find out Oz's opinion on the next wine while you've got a mouthful.
But I think, no, just hang on. Talk about something.
But it really is good. Come on, we're going to try the next one. Get that in your time. That's what I want you to do.
I think that's a really that first one, Paco and Lola. It's a really easy going. They're very good on tourism thing. They've got a thing called San Sol, winning wine tourism awards. They do things like eye wine, which is wine with ice. They've got a zero, Albariño numero zero. So they've got a zero, no alcohol wine. They're a good operation.
They're innovative. They're forward looking. They're pushing it. And then we have here Pondal.
I don't hate throwing wine away like that, but otherwise, honestly, we just simply can't drink all this at once.
And this is the Leira from the brilliant Pondal. And this comes from slightly further south. So this is a region called Condado de Tea. And Condado de Tea is southeast corner of Rías Baixas, right on that Minho River I mentioned, looking out down towards the expanse of northern Portugal. Yeah. It's a warmer region. It's less Atlantic influenced, albeit it's
quite
all
terraced.
Quite
the vineyards quite terraced, quite high. They go up to a couple of hundred meters. That's what 500 to 600, nearly 700 feet high. That's pretty high.
It's high.
That automatically cools things down.
And what you've got here immediately in the glass is it is a richer, more ripe stone fruited, bolder, rounder style of wine, and that comes from two things. It comes from the slightly warmer region here, a little bit of Condado de Tea, extra sunshine and heat, continental heat, but it's also that richness is amplified by lees contact, stirring of the leftover lees, the yeasts from the fermentation in the stainless steel tanks that this is made in, and as you do that, it builds up this lovely, gently bready, creamy textured, extra kind of
It doesn't have to be there for very long. This is for 4 months on the lees. And if you're looking at a bottle of Rías Baixas wine, if you see the word sobre leas, that means on the lees. And it's just enough to give a bready, round softness to the wine.
I think that's just a lovely thing. Where the Paco and Lola, what was so great about that was it had this attack, this freshness, this brightness. This is about soft, rich, mouth-filling.
And the stone fruit comes through more, doesn't it? And it's slightly more waxy on the palate. But I still get that sense that the rain is still waiting to come in. Yeah.
But it's got energy, even with all of that. Now, come on, let's get a Quinta do Couselo, the next one.
Oh, yes.
And I've been here a couple of times. I love this winery. Thank you so much.
Now, we're back to the coast here.
We're heading back towards the coast, still on the Minho, in the very south of Rías Baixas, right next to Condado de Tea, but out towards the Atlantic.
Yeah, you can virtually see the Minho River and the Atlantic at the same time.
You can literally, this is on a tiny little tributary off it. And This is an area called Rosal. And Rosal, I think, does, I mean, it's some of the best fruit out there. It's absolutely lovely. Deeper colour already, isn't it?
Deeper colour already, yeah.
Green
and
gold.
This is, I think, 6 months on the lees, this one. So it's a really lovely old-fashioned winery. The farm has been worked since 1163, something like that, next to a wonderful monastery. And the monks used to go up to the farm to relax, they said. I presume they meant to relax.
Have a glass of wine.
Have some, do a bit of meditating and then get hammered, I suspect is what they meant.
It's a lovely place to do it if you're going to do it. The other cool thing about this, Quinta de Couselo, is more time on the lees, more time stirring, more texture, but it's not just Albariño.
That's the
point.
point.
Even though it's Albariño Day, here we've got 10%, a grape called Loera.
Yeah. Lola is a lovely perfumed grape, rounder, fleshier perfume, delicious. They use it a lot in Portugal, just to the south of the Minho.
Think about, big tropical, it's like licking a Solero lolly, isn't it? It's kind of like just flavour and ripeness and roundness. And then tucked away in there's 5% of something that I think is so exciting. It's something called Caña Blanco.
Yeah.
And Caña Blanco
grape.
is almost Chardonnay-like. It's a leaner, fresher, more structured, less aromatic style of grape, but it's got this ability to give you this saline, really, really crisp, clean thing.
Just 5
Beautiful.
or 10% comes in, and you've got a completely new dimension of flavour, and I think that works tremendously well there.
Doesn't it work well?
And one has to remember, the sun occasionally comes out there, but always the sea mists are rolling in off the Atlantic, and the locals are getting out their bagpipes and starting to play. They play the bagpipes there. It's a Celtic area.
It's a Celtic
area. Celts down there. They play the bagpipes. Hey, do you want to try that?
We do. Well,
I don't want to throw that away. It's so good, but I'm going to have to.
Isn't it? Here we go. It's Albariño Day, Oz. We're going to celebrate. You can't celebrate without a bit of fizzy Albariño.
This is a rare wine.
A very rare wine, you're right.
Hardly, there's less than maybe 10 estates in toto which actually make sparkling Albariño. And it sort of makes sense, doesn't it? The lovely brightness of Albariño, the gorgeous green lift. You think that should really go with bubbles.
Absolutely. And it does. So this is As Laxas, and it is their centum. As Oz says, very unusual style of wine, even within Galicia. And Albariño works well with bubbles. It gives you this brightness, this boldness. I've seen Albariño from England that's made with some fizz. It's people have looked at it and gone, that's going to work beautifully. It's a lovely thing.
I think it works really well. I don't think it's better.
No.
There are some wines in the world that need bubbles to make them better. This isn't the case. Albariño doesn't need bubbles. It's just a delightful extra, and that's had 9 months sitting on its yeast lees.
I think something
softening.
like that.
Made in the Champagne way. This is a proper classic fermentation inside the bottle.
And I think there's a perception that traditional method wines like these need 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years in the bottle.
Yeah.
When the fruit is expressive and aromatic and lifted like this is, actually 9 months or something,
it's fine.
Just to use it as a way of getting really fine, really defined bubbles alongside of that lovely natural fruit. Winner. Love it.
Colour.
It's
Honestly,
got the Albariño green.
A colour, a wine with that green colour, it's just got to be refreshing. And it is.
Enjoy Albariño Day.
Enjoy Albariño Day.
This is just one of our Wine Alive Summer Sipping Series videos with Oz Clarke and me, Tom Surgey. If you'd like to know more about the wines we've tasted, head over to our blog at wine-alive.com and check out our other videos. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And thanks again for watching. We hope you sip splendidly this summer.